So the first argument against the resurrection was the accusation that they stole the body. Now, but that is filled with evidence. What does that tell you? What does it prove to you? If the first charge, the best they could do was saying they stole the body, what does it prove? It proves something very powerful. What is it revealing? What is it admitting? It is exposing, it is revealing the fact that even the first enemies of the gospel are admitting that the tomb was empty. You understand? The tomb was empty. So they're admitting the tomb is empty. And because the explanation doesn't hold any water, just can't hold up, what they're saying is the tomb is empty and we have no idea how it got empty. Which proves the tomb was empty and there was no natural means that could make that tomb empty. It means it was, therefore, if it's not natural, you only have left supernatural. They had nothing rational. And furthermore, since the first charge came from Jerusalem, it's all the more powerful. If it came from Newark, it'd be a different story. If it came from Des Moines, it would be a different story because they didn't know the stuff. It comes from Jerusalem. It means the very first people are declaring, the enemies of the gospel are declaring that the tomb of Messiah is empty. And they have no idea how it happened. No idea. It bears witness to us. The first disciples, the disciples then in Jerusalem. It means also, if the leaders who were against the gospel could have disproved, if the tomb wasn't empty, it's a very simple thing. We know the tomb is empty because if it wasn't, all they have to do, they did everything in their power to stop the movement. They didn't have to do that. All they had to do was go to the tomb, show the body. It's over. The whole thing is over. But they couldn't do that. They tried to kill them. They tried to persecute them. They did everything. They threw them in jail. They beat them, but they couldn't produce the body. What does that tell you? The tomb is empty. And the disciples, again, should not be there with these people who want to kill them. You get away from there if it didn't happen, but only if it happened. You go preach to the Eskimos, preach to people who have no idea, but not to the Sanhedrin. You don't go there. The point is you try to take it away from the setting of this. Get away from Jerusalem. Get away from the tomb. Get away from all that. If the story had ended with the crucifixion, for the reality, the crucifixion would have been so powerful, so traumatic, that it could never be overcome unless there was another event that took place that was just as powerful. The gospel. That after this bloody crucifixion, that they witness it. They all witness it. The disciples would never have been there again. They would avoid it. They would never proclaim it. They would never proclaim it really anywhere. But that they could preach, even that they could keep, now they come out and they're preaching this one who was crucified. They're preaching him as the Lord of all. How do you do that? I mean, even psychologically, how do you do that? How could this thing that was so crushed, there was no hope, and then Sunday morning, something happened, that everything changes. In Jerusalem, everything changes in the world. See, these are things that not even a secular historian can debate, that these things happen. It happened, and it changed the world. In the city of Jerusalem, the fact that it was there. You see, in nowhere in all the writings of the rabbis or even the book called Sanhedrin is there any shred of evidence to counter this. And when I shared about what the rabbis actually wrote, what's in there, it's amazing because they have a section, I won't go through the detail, but they have a section where they speak about a guy who they call a false prophet or a false leader, false prophet, and they're talking about Jesus, but they use a code name, and they say he was about 33 years of age when he was killed. But then they say, woe to him who makes himself alive again by the name of God. That's in there. There's nothing. There's nothing of any evidence against it. And then you look at the history, look at the book of Acts. I mean, how can you explain the book of Acts? The whole book of Acts takes place with a threat of death over every one of them. And these, again, are people who are cowards. And now they are being persecuted and persecuted, yet they do not stop at all. Even the writings of Josephus, a secular Jewish historian of the time, he records, he confirms there was persecution and death against these ones, the followers. What's going to make you, how are you going to stand? If it's not sure, you're not going to stand. You're not going to give up your life for something you know didn't happen or something you hoped happened. You're only going to give up your life for something you know happened. That the disciples are confronted with death, and yet they keep on. They have no fear of death anymore. It means something happened that was anti-death. Something happened that was so against the power of death, so overcame that they have no more fear of death. What could that be? What is something that overcomes death? The resurrection.
To find out how you can receive more of Jonathan's teachings, to receive special free gifts, or get in touch, go to hopeoftheworld.org or call toll-free 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's hopeoftheworld.org. or call 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's 1-800-937-4821. You can also get more at Jonathan Cahn's Facebook page or write us direct at Hope of the World, Box 1111, Lodi, New Jersey 07644, USA. Hope of the World is dedicated to the goal of spreading God's Word and salvation to every land and people. We do this by spreading the Word throughout the world and sponsoring compassion projects to the most poor and needy around the earth. To get in touch or have a part in God's work, just write to Hope of the World, Box 1111, Lodi, New Jersey 07644, USA. Or go to hopeoftheworld.org or call 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's 1-800-937-4821.